Now I know my videos are captivating, but this one was supposed to be different. This one was supposed to be riveting. I've been wanting to make a riveting block for a little while now, and I thought that I could make it out of a piece of mild steel. It's really the scrapyard steel, and basically what I did is I took this guy, only it was bigger, and I cut off this much of it, and then I drilled, I drilled, as you can see, a row of lines in here, or a line of holes in here that are various sizes from 1/8 of an inch up to 1/2 an inch. And the idea was that I could take some material, and this is a piece of 1/2 inch round. I could cut it to length, whatever I needed. The holes are right at 1 inch deep, and this is about 1.5 inches thick. So I've got, you know, 1/3 of the block is solid on the bottom. And I thought what I could do is I could take a piece of 1/2 inch or 3/8 or whatever, heat it up, have it a little bit long, like this, and then just drive it in there, mushroom the top over, and I could either make a flat head, or I could make a rounded head, and you can see that one goes all the way down in there eventually. But I ran into a little bit of a problem. I ran into a problem where I can't get these dumb things out of here once I've done that. And you know, if you think about it for like a millisecond, a nanosecond probably, it's kind of, well, duh, because you're taking a piece of hot metal, you're driving it down in that hole, you're upsetting the end of it. Well, it's also upsetting inside the hole as well. It's expanding inside that hole. So the only way I could get this thing out of here was to pry it out with a pair of pliers, and then I ended up just tearing up the head. Plus I had to wait for everything to cool down, for everything to sort of shrink, and be able to even think about getting it out of here. So I didn't want to lose the bottom in there, because I wanted to be able to stop these things from going all the way through. If I drilled through on the backside so I could ram a punch in there, well, then I got a problem with these small holes, because I'm not going to be able to get a punch small enough. So I went ahead and talked to a few people and got some suggestions. I had thought about slicing it down the middle, slicing this one down the middle, and putting a hinge on one end so it would actually open up, and then bolting it on or clamping it on this side. But I was basically I was counseled to say, bad idea. The hinges anything I put on here is not going to be strong enough to hold it together. So I'm going to abandon that idea. In fact, I'm going to abandon the idea of doing anything else with this guy, because I'm just going to do it right. And this has actually turned out to be a great tool for drifting and punching, because if I need to put something through a small piece of material, I've got a hole with a lot of support around it that I can use. So this has actually turned out to be worthwhile. So I'm going to keep this guy and continue to use it, only not for its intended purpose. So let me bring you in closer over here, and I'll show you what I'm up to right now. Okay, so what you can see is, barely see the blades right here moving this direction, moves really slow. But I'm going to go ahead and cut this block in half first, and rather than trying to drill it, cut it in half, I'm going to drill it in half. I'm going to drill it in half. I'm going to tack it back together on the ends here, clamp it tight and tack it back together. And then I'm going to drill my holes right on the line. That way when I separate it, bang. That way when I separate it, the holes will be the right size, and they'll be right on my line. Everything will be great. So that's my plan. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drill through from the sides all the way through, and I'll bolt this whole thing together. So that's kind of my plan right now. This is really slow going. It'll probably take an hour for it to cut through this block just like it is. So I'll come back after, I'll probably end up coming back tomorrow, tacking it together and drilling it out. Here we are, like, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks later, something ridiculous. I'm finally getting back to this thing. And you can see that they're perfect. It looks kind of like a wedge, maybe. I don't know. No, it's nowhere near straight. The blade cut through kind of at an angle like this, but that's okay. That's okay. I got what I needed. I've cleaned up the edge, so I'm going to tack these. Now I've got it cut apart. I'm going to put it back together again. I'm going to tack it back together. And if you don't know why you clean up an edge, get some dirty metal and weld it, and you'll figure it out. It don't weld. And I'm going to go ahead and clamp this down the way it is now, just to make sure I don't have any gaps in here. It lines up just exactly like I want it. So that's nice and tight, nice and smooth, both sides. So let me go ahead and get my welder going, and we'll just tack it like here, here, and over here. And you probably heard me say, if you don't have a welder, you need to get a welder because they're the coolest things ever. But then the next thing you got to do is you've got to make a welding table, because it makes your life so much better, so much better. All right, let's get this guy tacked. The next thing I'm going to do is I went ahead and laid out my hole pattern like I want it. And this is a like 1/2 inch, 5/16, 3/8, quarter, 3/16, something like that. And I'm going to put those, I'm going to line that up right on that line, and I'm going to mark each of those centers so I can start drilling them out. Let me get that done. Okay, I've moved us over to the workbench, a little bit better suited for beating on. I don't know, maybe not. I'm going to go ahead and just line this guy up and punch it. Okay, now this should be pretty even spaced. That one's off a little bit. It's all right. Let's get it up on the drill press now and start drilling them holes. Okay, I've got my drill press set so that it'll drill it an inch deep, right about an inch deep. And we're going to go ahead and start with an 1/8 inch drill bit, drill them all out that way. And then I'll just start gradually increasing the size of the bit. So I'm just taking out a little bit at a time on each one of these other holes. So let's get her started. Alrighty, last hole, almost last hole. So get this out of here, show you what I got. So now I've got a 3/16, quarter, 5/16, 3/8, and 1/2 inch hole, almost down the middle. I'm off down here a little bit, but I'm hoping that'll still be okay, and I'll be able to open it up and still be able to get my my rivets out of there without too much trouble. This one actually may just pop out of there because it's right on the, pretty close to the middle. So the next thing I need to do is I'm going to bolt this thing together. So I need to drill down here and here, and I'm going to do 5/16 inch hole all the way through. Now probably what I'll end up doing is drilling it, what I believe is probably down into this one, and then I'll take this, I'll untack it, and we'll finish the hole off that way. But here and here, need to get 2 holes going. Okay, I have drilled it about as far as I can drill it this way. So you can see I've got 2 5/16 inch holes. Not a lot of clearance. Not a lot of clearance down here, but it's going to be good enough. It's not through, so I'm happy with that. This side doesn't look too bad. So now I'll go ahead and cut off these tacks that I put on earlier and take this apart because I am at least down into, ooh, I am drilling through. You see that right there? Can you see that? That hole and that line? I'm coming through. Well, this may be prototype 2. we'll see. Let's go ahead and get these cut off and just see how horrible it looks. I like these flat sanding discs. Man, they can move material quick and they're just easy to use, and I kind of like them. I may be becoming too good a welder. Good penetration on that weld. Is it hot? Yes. Anyway, there they are. Not bad. Not bad looking. Not real consistent, but not bad looking. So, what am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm cutting through this guy the rest of the way. And yeah, that is a through thing right there. Well, let's put a small bit back in there and see if we can't get drilled through and get it done. I'm going to put a little block of wood in the bottom here, simply as a way to keep me from drilling into my vise. Here goes everything. I'm hoping you can hear me, and I'm hoping that this is just going to kind of find the bottom of that hole, the center. Looks like it did. And next time maybe I'll tighten up the chuck key. I guess the chuck key was already tight. Maybe next time I'll tighten up the chuck. All right, here we go. That was cool. I now have a broken drill bit. Can you see that? No, I can't either. That's where it didn't come through. So I can't even tap it out of there. Holy shamoly. Well, I guess I can try drilling from the backside and getting to it, and maybe I can tap it out of there. Man, that, can you see that blows? That blows. See if we can't break this one off in here too. Something just fell off my drill press. A nut. Off my Win 12-inch, my whatever this thing is. There's a plug for you guys. parts falling off of it. Okay, I'm not drilling that one any deeper. That's where the other one broke. Well, you missed all the fun. Me drilling that broken off drill bit out of there. This thing ain't pretty, but here's the idea, right? I've got a couple of bolts going through. I can, in theory, I can open it up. I can get my, hopefully my rivets will come out of there then, and I can close it up again, secure it fairly quickly, and be ready to make the next rivet. So I think what we'll do, since it's getting late, I'm going to call it a night, and we'll tomorrow I'll come out and I'll fire up the forge, and we can see if we can't maybe get a rivet made and make it look halfway decent. So we're getting close. It's ugly as all get out. Look at that. You see that okay? There you go. Less shine. If this thing works and I like it, I may just weld a piece on the end here and then drill it again, and you know, or I may just leave it because most of the hole is there. Alrighty, I am going to. This is how bad this is. I'm not hiding my mic cable. I have a dirty white t-shirt on. And you can't see my head. Just go up. Complete. This is almost a complete failure. So this is the first one I did, and I didn't have enough material for the head of the rivet. So then I went to the other extreme, and I had way too much material for the head of the rivet, and so it folded over, and I just couldn't get it flattened out right. And then I made this last one, which is sort of a compromise, which isn't horrible. The head could stand to be bigger, but let me show you. Let me grab the block. All right, so here's the problem. The block is deforming. This is a real problem for me because as I'm driving the rivets down into this thing, it's actually spreading itself apart somehow. These nuts are coming loose. It's opening itself up. It's just not. It's not working. So it's probably 95% me, but right now it's just not working. So I may have to go with a nail header kind of design and see if I can't make rivets that way. So anyway, I'm going to chalk this one up. Done, cut, finished, and we'll try again on the next thing. Take care. Hey, as always, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and click the thumbs up button down below. It really does help. If you'd like to be notified when we publish new content, go ahead and click my channel icon to subscribe. And finally, while you're here, take some time to check out some of our other videos. Have a great day and get out there and do something new today.